Hi, this is Sarah, and I'm happy you're here. I wanted to share this module of just troubleshooting some common homeschooling challenges and kind of just creating that safe and supportive place. So the safe and the supportive space, especially for combating burnout, this really helps create more peacefulness in the homeschool, which also eases the cycles of burnout that arise in our home educator journey. So it's great that we aim to build each other up, try to disagree respectfully with each other, utilize our empathy and honesty, try neutral language, and create habits of I statements. So I feel, I think, I hear, and don't be afraid to teach yourself a new language. There's a really wonderful book called How to Talk So Kids Listen and Listen So Kids Talk, which was so helpful for me, especially teaching and talking to Josie, who has Down syndrome and autism. I literally had to learn new ways to talk to her. So nonviolent communication is a really great method where we try to just center ourselves with what we are feeling, what we are needing, what we are witnessing, and also using logical words and language. So example, telling Josie, don't run is very complicated. She has to know what it is to run, then to do the opposite of it, which is not to run, then she has to take that action. So that's a lot of steps. So telling her or focusing on what I need her to do would be more logical, more grounded, and easier for her to comprehend. So especially in our teaching and our just everyday life as home educators, sometimes it's good just to learn a new language. So I still am trying to learn how to talk to create easefulness. So it's journey, always a journey. So I find relationship challenges really can create the burnout, can also just create sources of contention in the homeschool. So my relationship with myself, my relationship with my partner, my relationship with my friends and family, and my relationship with other educators. This is kind of an example of all of the relationships that make up my life as a home educator. So I want to try to make sure that I'm nurturing each one of those chunks of the pie chart, and really just trying to make the most of that, and also recognizing that if those aren't being nurtured, then imbalance and unease is going to arise. These are based off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. All of you psychology people will recognize Maslow, and there's all different types of hierarchies of needs. This is kind of a basic one that I like to just fall back on. So at the bottom, we have more of the survival needs, physiological. What does the body need? Food, water, rest. Then we need safety. And in the middle is kind of love and belonging. So love and belonging, of course, is a need, but we need the survival needs always kind of need to go first. Got to keep the body going. We need esteem. We need to feel valued in what we're doing or what we're here on earth doing. And then ultimately, wherever we are in the journey, we're going to come to where we want to come to a state of self-actualization. So these are the home educator's needs, and these are also the needs of the learners. So how do we build up the home educator? So of course, in the course, we dive into deeper dives and aspects of these, but overall, these are kind of the areas that we always want to focus on, based on Maslow's needs: strengthening our self-health, find our nourishing supporters, keeping up and creating goals for our journey and our path, whatever that is, finding those daily and weekly joys, and then building the healthy attachments. We want to keep making new friends. We want to keep just living and creating variety and continuity into our lives. The nuts and the bolts. So some common things. One of a really great book talked about how the mom wanted to work herself out of a job, and I just love that. She's amazing. I also like to emphasize that we want to find what works for our family, your family. What works for my family is not going to work for everybody's family. And if somebody is giving a system, take the good things from the system and then leave the things that don't work. And try not to impose things that aren't going to like be authentic to you on your family. It's just not all that great. We always want to be adapting for change, balancing the needs of being at home enough, and then also balancing the needs of going out, doing our extracurricular activities, doing just the things out and about. So in our home educator life, we want to balance enough time at home to recharge, to do the things that we need to do at home. If we follow programs, a lot of times, making sure we have time to finish whatever work if we're following programs. We also, especially if we have introverts and extroverts, a lot of folks need a lot of downtime to recharge at home. We also need to balance the needs of going out, especially for those extroverts. They need to just go out on field trips and have adventures. So everybody's family learners are different. So you want to kind of keep tweaking and adapting to your life. If you're a home educator and you just had a baby, you're not probably going to want to be running around town if you're exhausted and that's not really working. So just kind of adapting also for circumstances, long-term illnesses, pregnancy, postpartum, having the baby. So really just keep working at it. Behavioral management, just like in classrooms, managing behavior. So behavior just being how we act, how we react, and again, finding systems that work for you. Following your family values, your spiritual values, whatever those are, you're going to want to create systems. Or if you reject systems and you want to adopt a lifestyle where you're going to find ways that serve everybody. And if you teach consequences and reinforcements, finding things that work for you. And then I also love the idea of the prepared home environment, where we want to modify our home to help work for us. Setting up stools in the bathroom so little kids can step up to the stool and they can wash their hands, and they're not going to need us to be picking them up to wash their hands. That's one way of many to prepare the environment. So the environment is serving us and serving learning. And we want to modify and just make our home as easy for us and our learners as possible. That concept of helping ourselves as educators work ourselves out of the job. Sometimes it takes a little bit of investment, emotional labor of taking the time to research and find a really good sturdy stool. But once we put that strong stool that can maybe last forever in place, then that can really save us time in the long run for years and years, where little kids, as they get bigger, can keep using that stool. So that's just one example of many of helping prepare the environment, and helping ourselves work our way out of a lot of that work and helping our learners into independence. What I crave, so that peaceful, beautiful Pinterest, Instagram, internet savvy home. It's gorgeous. It's very attainable. And if this is your home, kudos to you. So this is something I crave. I love order. I have learners who do not need necessarily so much order. So we try to find a balance. Sometimes this is more of my life where I just feel like there's marbles spilled all over the floor and we just got to keep on going. So checking in with what we desire and crave and where our reality is, and then maybe trying to find a way where we can kind of meet in the middle of that. Also adapting our homes for differentiated learning. So differentiated learning, adapting for different developmental levels, adapting for different ages and stages, and adapting for different learning needs. So that's our home. I have 3 different learners, 3 different ages, 3 different developmental levels. So trying to find ways to kind of integrate and adapt the environment and our home education life, to kind of just help meet everybody's needs. And then just knowing that often I am a home educator, I'm a facilitator, I'm a coach, I'm an organizer, but I have many jobs, which I love, and many aspects of my life. I schedule, I just transport people, but I know that I don't have to do it all. I am not meant to do it all. Thank goodness. So based on our resources, our time, energy, how much we can invest, I find outsourcing really helpful. So for example, my daughter, one of my children loves pottery. We don't have a professional pottery wheel. That was not necessarily doable. We didn't have a good place to invest and get a really good, expensive, strong, heavy duty pottery wheel. Didn't have really an outside workshop to kind of set that up. So we outsource and we save money and invest in pottery lessons. So she could go to a local art center, work on their really wonderful pottery wheels with their very skilled local artists. So I help bridge her into the community. She connects with our local artist community. We help sustain other people's jobs and livelihoods, which is always a beautiful thing. And she also gets some independence. I drop her off and then pick her up at the end of her lesson. So feel free to always outsource. And just know that you could just keep tweaking as necessary. That's what we do. Take care.